Namaste. Thank you for joining me. We're going to focus our flow today on feelings of fear and anxiety. And when we experience fear and anxiety, our body automatically tenses. We notice a shortening of the breath and an overall disconnection between the body and the mind. So this 30-minute flow is aimed to create some space and allow us to reconnect with what's inside. So let's begin our practice in Supta Baddha Konasana. Soles of the feet together, knees wide. You'll lay down onto your backs. From here, bring one hand to your belly and one hand to your heart. And allow the breath to flow effortlessly. As you inhale through the nose, you fill up first the lower belly, the ribs, the chest. And as you exhale, the chest contracts, then the ribs, and then the belly. Simply following the journey of the breath here. And with your hands placed on your heart and on your stomach, you can further facilitate that connection between the body, the mind, and the movement of the breath, allowing us to go deeper and allowing us to reconnect within. And we'll be staying here for a few more breaths as we allow gravity to gently open the hips to begin our practice. An area that most of us experience tension, particularly when we feel stressed or anxious. And there'll be plenty of time to get warmer and go deeper, but for now, let's just ease our way into it. Simply breathe and allow gravity to do all the work here. Now gently help your knees together with your hands. We'll take the knees into the chest and hug them in, maybe rocking side by side. And then we'll keep the right knee in as we extend the left leg out long, flex your left toes and draw the right knee further into the chest. We're starting to open up the left inner hip crease, our psoas muscles, another area that particularly responds to stress in the body. Breathing here. Now let's extend that right leg to the sky and reach wherever you can along that leg to feel a stretch, whether that's closer to the thigh or further towards the ankle. Just gently beginning to open the hamstrings. Check in with your left toes. Check that they're still flexed towards the sky. And then we'll start to rebend that right knee. Take it into your right hand and open the hip out to the side with a bent knee. Left palm can now press down to your left thigh. Another moment for the hips. And then we will release. Both legs straighten out and we'll take the left knee into the chest first. Right toes flex this time. Hug the left knee in. Breathing here. And now extend that foot to the sky, reach wherever you can on this leg as you feel a hamstring stretch. Keep the head down, keep the shoulders relaxed, flex the right toes. Allow the back of that leg to softly open. Bending at the knee, let's hug that knee into the chest and take it out to the left side. Right palm can place down on the right thigh to keep the hips in place. So we gently open the left hip. And hug that knee back in. And then reaching both legs out, and then we'll draw both the knees up and into the chest. And we'll take a couple rock and rolls, just stretching out the back. And then when you're ready, topple over all the way forwards. And we'll come to cat and cow setup. So hands and knees. Hips and knees are in one line, wrists and shoulders in another. Inhale, drop the belly, shine the heart forward. Exhale, arch, pressing through the ground. Inhale, drop the belly, shine the heart forward. Exhale, round. Feel free to close the eyes down here and move at your own pace. Again, deepening that connection back into our bodies. And feel free to take this in any intuitive motion that you feel serves you, whether that's sideways, whether you stick with the normal cat and cow. There are no rules here, just feeling into the body, move in a way that feels good. And then coming to a neutral spine, tuck the toes under, we'll find our first downward facing dog. Feel free to pedal the legs out a few times here, dropping one heel as you bend the other knee. And then find some stillness, and we'll take that right leg up to the sky. And just start making small ankle circles, whichever direction feels good. And then change the direction over. Then we'll bend the knee and just make hip circles with that knee. Forwards, backwards, up and down. Just a few times, really isolating the movement into our right hip. Then place the feet back down, downward facing dog. Starting with the left leg, inhale up. Ankle circles, your first direction. And we'll change the direction over. Bend the knee. Knee comes forward, back and up. Little circles. And then place that leg back down, find downward facing dog. And then we'll start to bend the knees, come up to the tippy toes and just walk yourself all the way between your hands. Take an inhale as you flatten the back, halfway lift, fingers can come to shins. Exhale, bend the knees, fold forward. Take opposite elbows, bend the knees generously and allow the head to hang heavy. Maybe swaying side by side to release the spine. Then find some stillness and settle in with the head completely relaxed, allowing the weight to tip forward as we create some length down each and every vertebrae. And we'll start to release the hands. Take an inhale as you sweep up to stand all the way tall. Exhale, hands come to prayer. We'll begin with some half sun salutations just to warm the body up. Inhale, reach the arms overhead. Exhale, dive forward. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, refold. Only half. Inhale, sweep all the way to rise. Exhale, hands to prayer. Same again. Inhale, sweep. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, flatten the back. Exhale, refold. Inhale, sweep to the sky, arms come overhead. Exhale, hands into prayer. This time, inhale, sweep the arms up overhead. Exhale, dive forward. Inhale, halfway lift. Step the right leg back, left leg back, find plank position. Take an inhale. Exhale, drop the knees and lower all the way down. Inhale, roll the body through, untuck the toes, baby cobra. Exhale, downward facing dog, nice and gentle to warm up. Inhale, bend the knees, walk or hop between the hands. Find a halfway lift. You flatten the back. Exhale, refold. Inhale, reach to the sky. Exhale, hands to prayer. Close the eyes down here. Soften the shoulders, soften the breath. Reconnect. In your next inhale, sweep the arms up. Exhale, dive forward. Inhale, halfway lift. Step or jump back, plank. Exhale, chaturanga, lower down. Inhale, up dog or cobra, whatever you're ready for. Exhale, downward facing dog. Inhale, bend the knees, walk or hop between your hands. Find a halfway lift. Exhale as you refold. Inhale, lead with your heart, reach to the sky, stand tall. Exhale, hands to prayer. Same again, keep it moving. Inhale, reach tall. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, halfway lift. Take it back to plank. And then from here, we lower all the way to the floor. Setting up for locust pose, forehead down, untuck the toes, palms press. Take an inhale, lift the chest, float the legs. Squeeze the glutes and exhale, release. Hands come beside the chest, forehead starts to lift. Inhale, cobra, arch the shoulders back. Exhale, release down. Another locust, palms down. Inhale, lift up. Exhale, lowering down, creating strength in the back, palms back down. Inhale, baby cobra, arch back. Exhale, downward facing dog. Bend the knees, walk or hop between your hands. Take an inhale, flatten the back. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, sweep to the sky, lead with your heart. Exhale, hands to prayer. Deepen the breath. Next inhale, same again, sweep to rise. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, halfway lift. And then step straight back into downward facing dog. From here, take the right leg, reach it to the sky. Little friends come to join us on screen. Step between your hands. Drop the back knee. There he goes. Inhale, reach the arms up. Press into both of your feet. So press into the right foot, press into the top of the left foot. Feel strong in the pelvis, and then we lean forward, creating that strength first. Now allow the knee to drop out over the right ankle. Stretch the hips a little deeper, and then sweep your arms down, tuck the back toes, downward facing dog. Sway the hips side by straightening the legs a couple of times. And then let's start with the left leg. Inhale up, step between your hands, drop the right knee down, untuck the toes. Inhale, sweep the arms up and press into both of your feet. We'll find that neutral pelvis first. And then we'll allow that left knee to draw over the left ankle. Drop the hips a little closer towards your mat and stretch out the hips. Sweep the arms down, tuck the back toes, downward facing dog again. Sway the hips side by straightening the leg. Wag your tail. And then let's lift the right leg all the way up again. Step between your hands. This time ground your left heel down. Set up for warrior two. We're making a prana mudra, so make the peace sign on both your hands. Join your fingers together. Place them back in your warrior. As you inhale, straighten the front leg, gather the hands into your heart. Exhale, find your warrior two. Inhale, gather the energy in. Exhale, radiate out. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale, flowing the energy through the body, helping this prana circulate. Then find your warrior two. And windmill, sweep the arms down. Downward facing dog. Inhale, plank position. Keep that prana flowing. Exhale, chaturanga. Lower it down. Inhale, up dog. Exhale, down dog. Left side now. Inhale, moving with the breath. Lift the left leg to the sky. Exhale, step between your hands. Ground the right foot down. Inhale, warrior two. Prana mudra, peace fingers, join them together. Next, inhale, straighten the leg, gather the energy. Exhale, radiate out. Inhale to the heart space. Exhale out. Inhale. Exhale, floating with the breath allows us to relieve stress and anxiety by becoming more in tune with our body and our movement. Body and mind become one. Last time. And then sweep the arms down from your warrior two. Step back into downward facing dog. Keep flowing. Inhale, plank. Exhale, chaturanga. Inhale, up dog. Exhale, down dog. Reconnect. Find your breath. And then inhale, right leg reaches tall. Bend the knees, stack open the hips. Enjoy this moment of stretching. Then reach that right leg back out to three-legged dog. And then step outside your right hand, right toes off the mat, heel on. Play with this, shine the heart forward, hinge forward and back. Then drop the back knee, untuck the toes. Keep the length in the spine as you peel the right hip open. You may like to come down to your elbows if you have a bit more range here. But you'll get just as much benefits if you'd like to stay with the palms pressed, shining the chest forward, lengthening the spine. A little less intense, there's plenty of options. Finding a smoothness of the breath here. And then tuck your back toes, hips up and back, downward facing dog. Take the left leg up, bend the knee, try and stack the hips. Try to keep your left armpit pressing down, chest facing towards the mat. Try not to peel open at the chest. Back to three-legged dog. And then step outside left hand, toes off the mat, heel on. Hinge back and forth. And then drop the back knee. Untuck the toes, shine the chest forward. Find your depth, whether you want to stay here or you'd like to lower down to the elbows. Just focusing on that lengthening of the heart. And easing into it, finding that fluidity of the breath as we open up the hip, releasing some of that tension that automatically gathers when we feel anxiety or stress. And we'll tuck the back toes, come back to downward facing dog. Swaying the hips side by side with straightened legs. And then finding some stillness. And we'll start to bend the knees, walk or hop between the hands. Find an inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, folding forward. And then inhale, reach up to the sky. Exhale, hands to your heart. Let's set up for tree pose. Bring your feet together at the front of your mat. Hands to hips, find your drishti, your focus point. Lift the right heel and place the foot either on the ankle, the shin, or higher up onto the thigh for the full version. Hands can be at prayer. They can be out to the side to help you balance. Or they can reach all the way up to the sky and come to prayer above the head. Whichever option you've chosen, focus your attention. Focus your gaze and simply be in this moment completely. And starting to release, bring the hands back to your hips, lower the foot down. We'll set up for the other side now. Hands to hips, lift the foot to thigh, shin or a kickstand. Find your arm variation. Grounding down now through the right foot. Settle the gaze. Find that focus. And breathe. And it's okay if you fall. Just pick yourself up and try again. Releasing from the pose, hands to hips, place the feet back down. And bring the feet out further than hip width, turn the toes out and drop down with the hips, allow the knees to track over the toes. Palms come together for Malasana, yogi squat. From here, find hands in prayer and begin to press with the elbows into the knees, but also feel the knees pressing back into the elbows, creating a little bit of strength in the hips as we stretch. You may like to lift your toes up and back. You may like to sway side by side. Again, finding that intuition of the body. Tune in, maybe close the eyes down. Work out the kinks by moving freely in this pose if you choose, or stay still. Feel into that tension and then just let it go. Coming gently into a seat, and we're going to move down to the floor to set up for bridge pose. Laying onto our backs, knees bent, feet a hip width distance apart, and ankles are underneath the knees. Flatten your lower back into the earth completely. Hands beside you as we lift the hips to the sky, drawing through the heels for strength. And you may like to bring your palms, interlace the fingers beneath you, come up higher onto the shoulder blades as you create more space in the heart and more opening through our back. Breathe here, pressing through the heels. Let's take another deep breath in and out. As you exhale, lower the hips back down, vertebrae by vertebrae. Take the knees, wipe them side by side. Feel that release in the glutes and the lower back. And setting up for back bend 2 of 3. Let's bring the knees back together. And then starting to lift the hips up again. Maybe you take the hands underneath you this time, pressing into the elbows, thumbs facing into the sacrum, fingers out to the side. You can make this a more supported Setu Bandhasana, or you can take the arms underneath you, interlace the fingers again, or simply rest the hands beside the body. Creating space to open any tensions of the heart, any stress or worries we've been carrying. And then let's release it all back down. Wipe the knees gently side by side again. Enjoy that release. And then we'll set up for back bend number 3. Now from here, you may like to find one of the 2 bridges we've already done. You may like to set up for a full wheel by bringing the hands underneath the shoulders, pressing up to the head first as you inhale, and then reaching all the way up, finding a full Urdhva Dhanurasana or wheel pose. You may like to come up onto the tips of the toes if that helps you find more length and more space. Another deep breath in, feel the expansion, and exhale, slowly release whichever option you've taken. Come all the way down. Hug the knees gently into the chest, feel the lower back press into the earth. Maybe rocking side by side if that feels good. Then let's take a few rock and rolls up and down the length of the spine. Again, just enjoying the freedom of movement. And as you feel ready, topple all the way over. We'll find a downward facing dog. Almost there, almost at the end. Let's take the right leg up all the way to the sky. And then bring your knee through, bring your right knee towards your right wrist, soften the knee down. Untuck the back toes, find a lift through your chest. Check in with the back leg that it's straight behind you. And this may be it for you. Level out the hips as much as you can here. Maybe you have a little more room to move. You may like to lengthen the heart forward, keeping a long spine, or continue pressing into the hands and lifting the chest up. With special focus on the hips in this class, we're now stretching the outer of the right hip and the inner of the left hip at the same time. When we sweep everything under the rug, the hips are the places where all that stuff goes. So try and breathe here. If you'd like to stay here for a little longer, you can pause the video and catch back up when you've had enough. If you're on a strict timeline for 30 minutes, we'll start to unwind, lifting back up. Tuck the back toes under. Find your downward facing dog. Bend one knee, straighten the other leg. And then let's take the left leg all the way up. Bend the knee, bring it through, left knee to left wrist. Bring the foot down, slide the right leg back. Check in with your back leg. Level out the hips, find length in your spine. Stay here if it's enough, or start to lean forward. Try and find a little comfort in the discomfort here, knowing that we're doing the body a whole lot of good. And with each and every exhale, imagine that sweet release of letting go of years of trauma, of stress, of anxiety, of fear. And same goes here. If you'd like to stay here for an extended time, pause the video, catch back up when you're ready. If you're sticking with me on the 30 minutes, we're going to start to gently press the hands into the mat, lift the body up, gently tuck the back toes and slowly lift back up. And we'll stretch all of that out, lift the right leg up, bend the knee, just as we did in the beginning. Make circles with your knee. Maybe you notice a bit of extra mobility here. And then let's lower the foot down. Left leg reaches up, bend the knee, roll open the hip. And then place both feet down, downward facing dog. Bend the knees, come high up on the tippy toes. Walk or hop between your hands to sit down. And then from here, we're going to lay all the way back. A brief mini shavasana. We're not quite there yet, but almost. And just feel your body be heavy for a moment. And then hug both the knees up and into the chest. Take them out wide. And then bring the soles of your feet to the sky. Reach for the outer edges of your feet and feel the knees pressing either side of the chest. You may like to sway side by side here. Ananda Balasana, blissful baby. And just enjoy the sensation as the hips open, the back is flattened into the earth. And allow gravity to do most of the work here, without any need to force anything. And then let's start to bring the knees back, bent, place the feet down, hug the knees into the chest. One last time, and then we'll reach Shavasana. If you have a longer time, feel free to stay here for as long as you choose. Otherwise, we've got a 2-minute Shavasana if you're on the 30-minute timeline. Simply allow the body to be heavy and rest here. Let's begin to deepen the breath. Make some small movements with the fingers and your toes. And then as you're ready, we'll start to bend one knee and then the other. Gently roll to one side. We'll pause here for a moment with the eyes closed before we gently begin to lift. Find a comfortable seat. Keep the eyes closed if you can. Hands to heart center. May we live like the lotus, at home in the muddy waters. Namaste, everyone.